Y'all, if y'all haven't seen any of these shows that's in my description from start to finish, you have been warned. You need to go ahead and log off because it's about to be filled with heavy spoilers and opinions. Okay? I want to start with The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have not been doing a review on that show because so many of the Bravo shows are talking about divorce while I'm going through my own divorce. And I didn't want to talk about divorce. It's just too much. It's too many damn divorces through a strong number amount of women on this show, okay? And then I can't talk about it without sounding like I'm taking digs. So it's just like, baby, I just couldn't keep doing it all right? But now that the show is completely done, I have some thoughts and some opinions. In no particular order. Let's start with Kenya, right? Because she was the first one to leave abruptly during the season. Kenya, I ain't gonna lie, for the life of me, I don't understand why Britt had an issue with you, but sometimes people already come in with preconceived notions, and she probably want to have an issue with you. To be honest, if you asking regarding her ring, in regards to her ring, if that was the catalyst of her not liking you, she didn't like you to begin with, because I would have said the same thing. Oh, are you married or are you engaged? Because I see the ring and no band, and everybody knows what the band signifies. So, like, why are you getting defensive? I feel as though people would only get defensive if it's a touchy subject. Y'all, I just came from the gym, so that's why all that sweat is right there. Baby, okay. Anyways, so unless it was a touchy subject, and maybe her marriage is like a lot of people marriages are. You see what I'm saying? So I feel as though Kenya, this girl wanted a moment and you did not give it to her, which further like pissed her off. You see what I'm saying? But I felt like it was too low for what you did at your party. I know you wanted like a big response, but I felt like excuse me. I felt like the response didn't fit the crime. And even if you was gonna do her like that, why you didn't do that at your house, like during the kickback? Maybe you invited all your girls to come over, excuse me, to your house and try some Kenya Moore hair care, maybe some new products, and you wanted to get all the girls, maybe do a little commercial or for, advertisement for the Kenya Moore hair spa, because you was already opening that up. Maybe you could have invited them all to the house, and then that's when you could have revealed or whatever, or gather Britt in like a more private group versus an audience. I'm not gonna lie, I think that kind of would have made a difference as well. Just saying. I think that would have made a difference as well. But you apologize. I feel as though people are not their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You did it. We all do fucked up shit sometime. You did it. You owned up to it. You was let go, unfortunately, or put on pause, as people like to say in the Bravo world. And I also seen recently that you was not asked back for the next season, which I think is about to be season 17, alongside K. Michelle and Pinky Cole. I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking forward to seeing the Pinky Cole. K. Michelle too, because I went to K. Michelle. I seen her in concert. But Pinky Cole, as far as the business side, fuck the personal. But personal. I want to see the business side of Slutty Vegan. All right? I think she got 2 locations, if I'm not mistaken, in Georgia. One in Decatur and one somewhere else. I want to see that. I want to see that. Plus, she just got through finishing a lawsuit I think with one of her partners, because I tried the Slutty Vegan when I went down to Dallas last year. And then I know they temporarily closed a lot of her locations down because she was going through that battle, but now that battle is over. I want her to talk about that. And then she's married to Dave of the Dave and the Cheesesteaks, and he getting his money too. I want to see Dave. I want to see how she's making her money, how she got it. And then another thing I like what Pinky Cole do. Excuse me, Jesus. Another thing I like that Pinky Cole do is she always gift like location and information, and she does not gatekeep. Pinky Cole, what's up? Cause I'm trying to learn. What's up, Pinky? I want to learn. Out of everybody on this case, you, Pinky, you haven't even filmed yet, baby. Okay, I would love to do a one-on-one with Miss Pinky Cole. All right. So Kenya was the first one to go. Let's move on to Britt Edie. From the first episode of Britt Edie, I was like, oh my gosh, she is so cute. She's so cute. I really didn't like the fun of her like that. Oh my, I'm like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But you know, you can't, if that's how she talk, that's how she talk. You can't say nothing about how somebody talk. That's how she talk. That's how she talk. Okay. But when I first saw Britt, I was like, oh my God, this is a pretty girl. You see what I'm saying? Now, I didn't catch the sweet and sassiness that y'all was trying to put on the husband. I didn't catch it. I don't be looking for it, but they business is they business. I stay out of married folks' business. That might work for them. Even if she is in a lavender marriage, that might work for them. Even if she do get the strap, that might work for them. Who are we to judge? It's all different types of marriages. It's all different types of marriages. So what about it? So yeah, if it's true, what about it? What you gonna say next? You can tell that Brittany was a liar though. Like, you call her in multiple lies as far as her licensing and things like that. And I just felt like she was inauthentic. It was just something about Brittany that seems fake. It was just something about it. Like, would Brittany would have been my friend? I'm not sure. I didn't like how close she was quick to throw Kelly under the bus. And my thing is this: if you have a disagreement about what's going on in our friendship, come to me. Come to me. Don't do no side shit. Don't get other people involved. Don't go tell everybody else but me about me. Baby, come get me. Come get me. And I thought it was petty of it all. And then now you want to air everything out. Everything, you can't keep a little bit for yourself. Maybe a lot of things didn't even make the edit. But what else? Let's move to Angie. Angie was probably my favorite character of this season. She was a newbie. She was mature. She didn't mind giving it to the girl. She didn't mind saying my wig was slipping. She didn't mind saying, hey, listen, I made a bad investment and now these houses are going into foreclosure. But I would rather that happen and my credit get fucked up and I file for bankruptcy and keep my marriage and fight for my marriage. Like, I got to prioritize what's important. Like, this is about to bankrupt us. We ain't about to have nowhere to live. You know, so I'm glad that she was very honest and very transparent, even about her husband's past infidelities. Like, she aired it all out, baby. What you gonna tell me about myself that I haven't said already on camera? Yeah, we were separated. We were separated for years. Yeah, my husband ego was bruised when he was carried out the stadium. Hell yeah, he ran around on me for years and I had to leave his ass because he had me fucked up. Yes, I didn't know it was going to be too hot like this and my wig was going to start slipping, but it did. Now I know what type of glue to use. Yes, I didn't know I was going to go in foreclosure. I had high hopes. I had high hopes. But I overextend myself. Shit happens. All well. I took the lesson. I can fix this. This can be fixed. But it wasn't worth me getting stressed out, and it could have possibly affected my health and or my marriage and or my other financial responsibilities that I had outside of this investment shit. I love the fact when she overheard them girls downstairs at the pool talking about she would fuck her, that she went downstairs and charged every one of their asses up. I'm glad she did that. How was that not real? Angie was the realest housewife, because Angie did exactly what I would have done in every damn moment. She went down. What was said? What was said? You would do what to Charles, bitch? What you gonna do to my husband, hoe? What? This hoe with the fan. I ain't got the electric one, but what? Charles didn't cheat on me. Charles didn't cheat on me. Charles did cheat on me, but I never said he had a baby. Wendy Twisty. You look like one of my husband hoes. Listen, I never used that one. Hopefully I never will have to. Okay? But that was a good one. You look like one of my husband hoes. Okay? With the stretch marks around your mouth, baby. And she was giving it to the girls. And she killed it with the reunion look. Angie look was like my top 3. Shamia was number 1. Portia was number 2. And Angie was number 3 with that she got a badass body. Baby, Angie figgity fine, honey. Angie fine. I would be friends with Angie. Angie seemed like the type that would pray with me as well as run up. You want to do a drive-by? Come on, girl. I'll drive because I don't need you getting out of order. Let's pray for safety first before we go. I'm serious. Let me call my therapist. We gonna call both of our therapists, okay? And let them talk us through this after the fact. All right. I'm telling you, Angela seemed like she's cooler than a fan on high. I'm sorry for her loss. She lost her mom. I cannot imagine any of us losing our mom. What else? What else did I want to talk to about Angie? Listen, everybody got different type of marriages. You could tell that Charles play. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to put on for the cameras. He's authentically himself. And he might not like PDA. Charles might not like PDA. He might not want to do it, but ain't no telling what's going on. When them cameras go down, you see he don't mind cooking or providing for his damn family. And like he said, baby, I'm the only husband here. Where y'all husbands at? Y'all got so much to say about me. And y'all didn't know that me and my wife was married. Shit, I didn't know none of y'all was married. Who know that unless you have a conversation with somebody? And then you knowing of me is not the same of knowing me. If we met, I had to learn that a lot of times. Okay? I had to learn that a lot of times because I kept throwing that word friend around. No, we met. We have a mutual acquaintance. I don't know you, sis. I don't know you. I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't know you. I met you once in passing. Hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm just, okay. And then you sat on the other end on the dinner table while we had the birthday dinner. We didn't say nothing outside that but hi and bye, bitch. And now all of a sudden, you know me just because you see me one time at a mutual friend's outing. And I was sitting on the other side. Like, come on, babe. Listen. I'm glad Charles cleared that up. Because I'm with that. Like, do you know me? Like, do you know me? I can tell how people know me or where they know me from by what name they call me. I'm not going to tell y'all all 3 names, but it's 3 specific names. And I can tell by which one you use on how you know me. Just saying. So I'm glad that Charles checked the girls. Angie was my favorite housewife. Phaedra only came in for 2 weeks, like 10 days. I hated her reunion outfit. I thought it was ugly. She didn't do anything but be messy, and that's it. Phaedra just came to do her job, which she did. She got her check. She was done. Cynthia felt like an auntie. You see what I'm saying? She was friend of this season. I felt like if Cynthia would never filmed, the show would have easily went on without her. Just saying. And I thought her reunion look was very boring. It's something that you could have got, just a regular maxi dress, maybe off the Shein, you know what I'm saying? Or at the Marshalls. Okay, Royce. Burlington's, you just could have she got it right off the rag. I don't even think, I'm serious. It was still cute. But it honestly looked like she could have left there and went to a nice little Sunday brunch. Did see. Who else? Shamia, I believe that Portia was supposed to be the it girl this season. But because she was going through an unforeseen divorce, she couldn't film in her home. It fucked her up. Because what I'm going to do, what life I'm going to show? I thought I was going to show a beautiful life with my husband. How happily married I am. Our big ass motherfucking house. Our family dynamic. Maybe the new reline of the Pampered by Portia. Maybe me traveling over here to the Dubai. Just cause. How me and my husband just interact and do us. But no. Before filming, Portia world got flipped upside down. The home she thought she had with her husband, now she can't even be there. She got to relocate because he displaced her. He served her paper saying she got to leave. She can't film in the house. So that was an ongoing battle throughout the whole filming. So she had to relocate, go find somewhere else to stay, her and her daughter, back at her mama's house, an hour away from Atlanta where they are doing the filming. So what's she gonna do? What's she gonna show? As you seen, she barely showed her filming in her mama house. She did touch on it, and she didn't get access to film in her house until the last 2 weeks. Portia was supposed to be the main character, but because shit happens, they had to pivot, therefore bringing it to Shamia. Shamia, first episode, people was drawn in by your lavish lifestyle, your beautiful home, your birthday party. I loved how you changed 3 times. I think it was maybe even 4, and all of that. But as the season progressed, you just became, what can I say about, I want to frame this right. I want to say you became a lot unsure of yourself, if you ask me. I feel like with every episode, you became more and more unsure of yourself and where you stand in Portia's life, where you stand on the show, where you stand with the new people you was meeting. And I get it that you was battling a lot as far as now you want to have another kid with your husband, and you know your daughters are going through some health issues, and I know that can already take a mental toll. And then you and your friend is not cool because other people is taking things back, but you are saying things, Shamia, and you're not keeping it 100% with your friends. See, my thing is this, right? I feel like you can always tell when friends has been on again and off again or whatever and whatnot, because it don't be just one thing, right? It don't be just one thing that gets you to take a break from set friendships. It be like a multiple of things that you don't address. I feel as though a lot of things, because it be multiple, before you be like, okay, that's it, you haven't addressed those other things. You haven't addressed those other things, right? So it just keep piling on. It keep piling on until you no longer have the capacity to hold it, and you be like, you know what, that's it. I don't want to deal with this shit no more because you did. And they ain't know about this. They ain't know about that. They ain't know about the other thing. So now you just blowing up, or maybe you just withdrew completely, and now they like, what the fuck? They have no answers. You never gave them no questions. And now, even right now, you need time to think, or you need time to assess the friendship. And that other person is just out there like, what happened? We have all been through that. You can't tell me that's not what happened. But my thing is this, right? Sometimes you do outgrow friendships. But if the friendship is important and you take egos out of it, I feel like you should give your friend, especially if it's somebody you valuable, as multiple and as many chances as you gave the man in your life that you fucking. If you can give Brandon 5 times of cheating on you, stealing money out your purse, not paying the light bill, not paying the rent, you caught him flipping your car down at the fish shop, with Monique ass. You still forgave him for doing all this, that, and the third, and I get it. You feel like, man, you know, this is my friend, she should know better. Okay, he should know better too. He should know better too. We all grown. We all human. None of us should be more exempt above the other. Just saying. Just saying. So as many times as you giving Brandon's ass the fuck on you, you can at least, if your friendship is important as you say it is, you can have an honest conversation with your friend. Hey, what you did over there at Shauna's party, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I wasn't going to say nothing because we was in front of people. But now that we both at home and I know you made it home safe and I made it home safe, I'm telling you right now, bitch, and if you want to square up, we can square up. I did not like it. I didn't like it. You're better than that. Like, friends should be able to have honest conversation. You having a conversation regarding our friendship to everybody but me, we have a problem. We have a problem. What else? Who I want to go to now? Drew, girl, your storyline, I feel like, was a little draining. Okay, I don't want to see it next season. If you come back next season, I know Ralph is in the basement. I know y'all still going through y'all divorce. I heard your album was amazing. I still haven't had a chance to listen to it and download it. I want to. I feel the same way. Out of all the music producers in the world, you go to Dennis. He has, as far as I knew, no musical history. Where's his resume? His resume is in music because I thought it was in hot dogs. You couldn't go to Brian Michael Cox, Dark Child. Who else was the one? Chili Baby Daddy. You couldn't go to him. Jermaine Dupri. Couldn't go to him. So many people. Metro on the beat, ho. Oh, Mustard on the beat, ho. And Metro Boomin. You couldn't go to none of them. All right. But you chose Dennis, and I heard it was a fire album. Okay. Portia, you was already going through a lot with the divorce. I'm going to give you some grace because I know how it feels to be in a mental space here, a space with your friend, like injecting all those emotions and those things at once. I didn't like the fact that you met up with Ralph and Shamia. You know that was going low. You admitted that. Didn't like that. I honestly feel like you did love Simon. I don't think it was all materialistic. I feel as though you knew what you was doing when you got with Simon. You knew what you was doing when you got with Simon, but I also don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for that. You wanted financial responsibility, plus he was probably a little easy on the eye for you, and like you said, you love those Africans, and you really didn't know Fallon like that, even though it did give the appearance that you did, that y'all was friends and that y'all were cool. But we know now that's how the producers get cast members to introduce a new person to the scene. It was ugly. Optically, it was just ugly and messy or whatever. The way Simon is destroying you, girl, crazy. It's always two sides though, and you seem happy. You moving on, that's all that matters. It do seem like Dennis wants you. They always want that old thing back, especially if they fucked up, but I feel as though you can do so much better than Dennis. I don't want you to use the excuse of that he's your child's father in order to settle with him. What else? I didn't like how you drug the issue out with Drew. I feel as though you did that because you didn't have no storyline. You really didn't want to talk. And the storyline you did have, you really didn't want to speak on it. You really didn't want to speak on it. And because you had been grandfathered in with the damn producers and with the network, they let you have it. They let you have it. Who else? Did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody, y'all. Was that everybody? In the cast, Brittany, Phaedra, Portia, Angie. Oh, Kelly. I forgot about Kelly. Kelly probably had the worst reunion dress that I seen. Kelly, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I think the reason why you were so upset with Britt, it wasn't the fact that she was using your team, because I feel as though that wasn't the issue. You and Shamia, aren't y'all currently sharing that same team that you no longer wanted Britt to use? And it's no problem. What I think was, Brittany looked so much better in those looks than you. And you didn't like it. Every look that Britt had, and when they did the flashback and the compare, Britt killed it. I don't know, it's because the stylists know how to fit her body type better, or the fact, Kelly, you be telling the people, no, I want this, I want that. You're not letting them do their job. You're not letting them do their job. But yet, you're blaming them for not looking as good as her. She probably told them, do whatever you want, I trust you. Probably gave a little bit feedback now and then, but just let them do what it do. See, one thing I feel as though a lot of people need to learn is let the you haven't did this, let them do it. You came to them for help. How are you going to tell them how to do their damn job? And they've been doing it for years, and you found them out for a reason. They didn't come looking for you. They didn't come asking, hey, can I be your stylist? Can I be your stylist? You went, saw their work, saw how great they did. You wanted them for yourself, and now you're critiquing everything that they're trying to do, even though they're building their looks and they're pulling items based on what you said you wanted, which you really didn't want. So I feel as though, Kelly, it was really more so a jealousy thing. It wasn't the fact that your friend didn't show up for you the way you expected her. Because how you would expect her to show up for you while you're going through your things when y'all already had a falling out about the stylist? That should have been cleared with a conversation. Y'all was never friends. Y'all was just gaining alliances with each other because y'all were the new chicks, and it came out and it backfired. But hey, you got a friend in Shamia, and Britt is no longer here. And then it turns out that the photos that damn Kenya put up there wasn't even Britt. All that for nothing, wasn't even Britt. So that's all I gotta say on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not sure if I'm watching next season. I will. Wait, first of all, that's a lie. I will if Pinky is on there. I do want to see Pinky. I want to see this bad. Just saying. Now let's talk about the Nelly and Ashanti show. Now, I started watching this show because of the viral clips that was going on the TikTok and on the Instagram. Y'all seen them. I believe it was 2 or 3 specific clips. It was the one where Nelly was basically saying how he's not doing anything for his son until he can walk and talk. It was that one. What else? I think the inauguration came up. Okay, the inauguration, and if I'm not mistaken, the other thing is the fact that Ashanti wants to live in New York and Nelly wants to stay in St. Louis. All right. So I did take notes on this show. I think I took notes from episode 1 through 4. However, I stopped because this show was boring. In my personal opinion, this show was absolutely boring. It didn't need to be 8 episodes or however long it was. It just needed to be a nice little 90 minutes. A nice little 90-minute special, basically showing how Nelly and Ashanti got back together, where they are now, and where they're going. Boom. It could have been wrapped up in a nice little bow like that. It did not need 8, 9, 6, however many episodes it was. Some of them was 30 minutes, some was 45 minutes, some was 23. Baby, it was too damn long. You ain't need that. You ain't need that. They played Nelly music throughout this whole series. So I can see why certain people think this show was only about Nelly trying to rebrand himself, because he's trying to rebrand himself as a husband, as a father. He's trying to bring back Apple Bottom. You see what I'm saying? And things like that. And, I'm not buying Apple Bottom. You know, I'm not buying apple bottom. I don't know if y'all would buy apple bottom. Who even sells apple bottom? I think it would be back in the city trends. Maybe in the city trends. That's the last time I remember buying some apple bottom jeans was at the city trends. It was the apple bottoms. Y'all remember Fetish, Eve clothing line, and Darion, House of Darion, Beyonce clothing line. I used to get all those from the damn city trends. I haven't been to a city trends in over 10 years. So I don't know who buying Nelly jeans. But clearly somebody, I don't know. Maybe you gonna buy them. I have no idea. But with Ashanti, her story is, I'm a new mom. All I want to do is be a mom. I want to focus on my child right now and my husband. That's it. I want to go back to New York. I feel as though New York has all the best things, best schools, best food. You know what I'm saying? The best support for myself and our children and what we trying to do with our life. Nelly feel as though they should stay in St. Louis. He also said that he told her before they got married that he's not leaving St. Louis. See, that discourse reminds me of Kim and Chris Humphrey. You remember when they got married and they couldn't decide where they want to live and if she wanted his last name? Shouldn't all that be discussed prior to you tying the knot with somebody? Just saying. I feel as though that's an excuse. That's an excuse. And then, not for nothing, Nelly and Ashanti, y'all both make too much money. Why not live by coastal? Why can't you have a house in St. Louis and a penthouse in New York or a house in Jersey? Why y'all can't do both? Y'all have enough money, like you keep saying, Nelly, you rich. You can afford this and that. You gambling $250,000 down at the crap table. You can afford to get a home in both cities. That shouldn't even be. I feel as though when you reach a certain level of finance and influence, certain shit shouldn't even be a problem. Certain shit shouldn't even be a damn problem. That is one of them. That is one of them. Nelly, it was not cute for you to laugh at the fact that you do not wake up when you hear your son cry. You don't change his diaper. Like, I felt like that was rude and very disrespectful to your new wife. Now, one of y'all been married before. You already said you have regrets on how you raised your first two children because you wasn't even in their life like that. You missed so many milestones. And now that God has given you the opportunity to do it right and to do it over, you still take that for granted and you laugh it off. That's not funny. That's not funny. That's your wife's first child. You can't even have her back like that. You can't even have her back. You want her or the nanny to do it. And I'll give you a baby. I just ain't. What? You seem very selfish. You seem very selfish. They say they didn't think it was going to happen. Marriage and a baby after spinning the block. Nelly is throwing Ashanti a surprise party. I really want one of those. They touch on how they grew up, two different upbringings, marriage, close families versus not. They met because Nelly asked for her autograph, and I thought that was very cute. I did not know they were off and on for 11 years. Baby, haven't been on and off with nobody for 11 damn years. Could y'all have done that? Have y'all ever done that? Leave a comment if you have. Mama Tina look like she don't play. They fast forward a few years. They reconnect at Versus. They got married in St. Louis in 2023. And I feel as though Nelly is funny. I feel as though he is very hilarious. I didn't know that Nelly had 4 children, 2 of his own, and then 2 from his sister from her passing. But I'm glad they went over that. I don't understand, like I told y'all, how people get into a marriage without discussing, certain things first, like where you're gonna live. Do you like kids? Do you want kids? A pet, travel, etc. Do you whoop them, or do you practice gentle parenting? What religion are we gonna raise the kids? Like, come on now, I feel as though we are too old not to be having these conversations. Yes, Nelly is 50, but Ashanti's 44. She don't get no damn pass. She don't get no pass. They went to go look at mattresses, but I loved how he called it an instrument. That's how I knew the price was going to be extremely expensive. They got tucked in, and he said the instrument started at $76,000. And when I say Nelly was me and Nelly was funny, baby, if you don't get out these damn people's shit and stop playing, and let's go down here to the mattress firm. We're going to get a nice sleep number or a Tempur-Pedic. Like, girl, stop playing. Listen, that scene with Charles and those instruments was so funny and so real. And I almost cried when he said he didn't have a bed till he was 8. That was very sad. They do have a nanny I see with the baby. And Ashanti gets offered to do a Christmas special. But she really don't want to go because she don't want to leave the baby. When Nelly explains the 4 kids, that makes sense, that he adopted 2 from his sister. He really didn't touch bases on his second relationship with his daughter too much. Nelly says he has made it very clear prior to KK that he wasn't moving to New York because all his business is in St. Louis. You can do that via Skype and Zoom. Or you can do it where Monday through Thursday, y'all in the St. Louis. And then Friday and Sunday, y'all in New York. Come on, this is like shit, broke people problems. Because y'all got money. Y'all should be able to do this. Let's see. Ashanti is in the gym trying to get her baby weight off. Ashanti still doesn't want to do the midtime Christmas special, but she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't want to leave KK. She says she passed up a lot of money since he been born. And I understand that, because no lie, when I finally have my first child, I want to take at least 6 months to a year off. I'm not caring about the money. Hopefully, I'll be so straight that, baby, I wouldn't even be wooed or swayed one way or another. One way or another, I want to bond with my baby. I want to bond with my baby. Ashanti mom flew up the day before to make sure she was straight. Side note, Debbie Allen was my inspiration growing up. I literally wanted to be her and follow in her footsteps. From going to Howard to pledging Delta, majoring in dance. Like, I wanted to be her. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Now, while Ashanti is rehearsing for the show, Nelly is rehearsing for his Atlanta show. Nelly sounds like he has some regrets not being there for his children while growing up and touring. Listen, Nelly, I hear you, but men have children in late ages all the time. You are not the first, and you will not be the last. Didn't Robert De Niro just have a baby at like 75? And the dude that played Scarface, didn't he just have a baby at 80? You don't get a pass. You don't get a pass. I don't think it was funny when he said, I'm not doing nothing with him until he can walk and talk. I don't care if you do hire a nanny. That's fine too, because we need them. But you need to be hands-on with your child. And I feel like it's imperative for the friends to shine a light on you on that as well, instead of laughing at your ignorant ass. I did not like the fact that they was keying about what you was saying. That was not right. Ashanti is very anxious about getting home ASAP because she didn't know if she had enough breast milk for the baby. I felt like that was an excuse. It had shit to do with breast milk. Her ass didn't want to go down there in the first place, but it was a contract. She had to do that or she would have been sued. She was just ready to get back home. She wanted to do what she was going to do, and that was it. She didn't want to stay all night. She didn't want to stay all day. She just wanted to do a little 1-2 step and go. And because she had a relationship with Debbie Allen like this, Debbie was able to pull some strings to accommodate her. Now, Nelly, why wouldn't you want to go and get her and your baby and bring them both down safely? Especially if she's saying she doesn't feel comfortable flying. This is your wife. See, this is what I'm saying. I feel as though a lot of these men be wanting wives, but they don't want to be husbands because they don't want the responsibility of it. They just want to be me, me, me. Me, me, me. You seen how he even acted regards to the baby. Yeah, she don't give me no attention because of the baby. Baby, listen, the baby can't do nothing for itself. You can do everything for yourself, Nelly. Cornell. Last I checked, you can talk, you can walk, you can feed yourself, you can shit, you can bathe, you can do all that. He can't do nothing, Cornell. You know what? Let me get off this show. Because like I said, the show was goddamn boring. And the only controversial parts was the parts y'all seen online on the Tick and the Talk. And if you ask me, I don't even want to speak personally on their marriage, even though I feel. Moving on, I ain't even gonna read the rest of my notes. This is the main reason why I wanted to get on the line and talk to y'all. Because I binge watched The Housewives yesterday. My man was sick, so I didn't have all my plans. I had to pivot, put that to the back burner, and just stay home, make sure he was okay, because he literally slept a day away. Like, he was, like, out of there. So just to make sure I was close and in proximity, I was in the living room watching TV all day. And baby, I came across The Housewives. Now, I did come across that show the other day when we was looking for something to watch. But he said he wasn't interested. And is it me? But I love when my partner is not interested in the shit that I want to watch, because I can just binge it. I ain't got to wait for them. I can just watch it like as much as I want to watch it. And I ain't got to worry about it. And I can just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And I really love watching it when they not here. When it's me by myself, because I feel as though that's like a personal show. I feel as though we have personal shows, you know what I'm saying, we like to enjoy while the other person is not around. Anyways, baby, the first episode brings you in. Let me bring up the cast, because y'all know I ain't take no notes on this, and I also didn't write nothing down. What was the name of The Housewives? But baby, we got to talk about it, okay? Because what I can tell you that I know about it is very different from the book. I already knew I was going to read the book after I finished the show, but I also did some research on the movie and the show. Excuse me. I need to eat, y'all. I also did some research on the book, and it is very different from the Netflix series, and I'm going to tell you how as we go in. Let's start with Sophie, right? So Sophie is the main character, one of the book / movie or series on Netflix, right? So in the series, they talk about how Sophie and her husband goes to this, I think it's called an NAR or whatever, just a rights to bear arms, I guess, a gun event or something. You know what I'm saying? And basically, Sophie met Margot because of the fact that her husband brought her to this party. They met in the bathroom because Margot was looking for a sanitary napkin. She didn't have one. She had a tampon and she took a Xanax. She wanted one too. So that's how their, exchange occurred. That's how they learned of each other in the series. But in the book, based on the research I have done, it was actually Sophie who wanted to move the family down to Dallas from Chicago because she wanted a new life. She wanted to just, chill, be the wife, be the mother, do the gardening thing. But baby, she soon got really, really bored of it. So then while she was out shopping, that's when she originally saw Margot. And in the book, she became very, very, very obsessed with her. All right. She became obsessed with Margot in the book. So she even went as far as to arrange to meet Margot at that party. But see, in the book, it wasn't because Sophie went with her husband. It was a friend that Sophie had in the book. I can't recall what the friend name was in the book, but that's how she got in that circle. It didn't have nothing to do with the husbands or anything like that. It had to do with a friend. She was like, hey, I seen you going to this benefit. Can you give me a free ticket? The friend was like, yeah, but I don't trust Margot. I don't trust that hoe. So it was more like one of her, I think her name was Ava in the book, but I didn't write it down. Ava was kind of like her conscience in the book. Like she would see Sophie acting out of character or drinking too much or neglecting her husband and son and be like, girl, what is you doing? Like, Margot is not your friends. These girls are not your friends. You need to shape up. You need to get it back together. But they wrote her out the book. I don't know why, but they did, right? Let's talk about Margot. All right, because in the book, baby, first of all, I knew Margot did it. I knew Margot did it because she was conditioning everybody around her. Maybe y'all should lawyer up. Maybe you should say we were together. Maybe you shouldn't say that this person was there and that was going on and that was going on. Oh, and let me tell you what was going on. If you thought they was having a lot of sex in the Netflix series, they was having a lot of sex in them books, okay? According to the book, the first time Margot invited Sophie to go shoot, first of all, it was nighttime shooting. It was nighttime shooting. What the fuck you gonna see at night? I don't know. But it was nighttime shooting, not in the daytime like how they showed it on the Netflix. It was nighttime shooting. They would all get together, go to Margot's cabins, get high, get drunk, and, you know, indulge in sexual activities with not their spouses. Okay? And so it says Sophie would do a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. And it says also the wives basically only did fellatio. It was only giving head. So they wasn't really bound chicka wow wow. Except Margot was bound chicka wow wow with Jill's son Brad. Okay, so that's how I know it was Margot from the get-go, because again, she was the one who had the clearest motive from the beginning. However, that's in a Netflix show. In the book, y'all, Margot dies. Y'all know when Sophie get caught up with being a suspect, she was trying to put it on Margot and was like, Margot set her up, and the cops was almost believing it until Margot wound up dead. Somebody drowned Margot in a damn lake. And guess who did it, y'all? Guess who ended up being the killer in the book, y'all? Jill, y'all, the pastor's wife. Jill was the killer in the book. Jill killed Margot because she found out that Margot was having sex with Brad, and she killed, what was that girl name? Shit, hold on. What was the girl name? The daughter. What was the daughter's name, y'all? Why they not showing me the daughter's name? Shit. Hold on. I want to say her name was Amy. Was it Amy? Hold on. Was it Amy? Hold on. I'm going to find it too, because I want to. What was her name? Abby. Jill killed Abby too, because it was Abby the one that was pregnant, not Margot. And Abby didn't want to get rid of it. So Jill was like, this bitch about to destroy them crazy ass moms over them ain't shit ass sons that y'all know y'all be raising. But that's a different story. But the pastor's mom made it her business. She never did like the girlfriend for whatever reason. If you ask me, the damn mom was in love with her son too, with her nasty ass. Y'all seen that breastfeeding scene? Ew. Y'all seen that shower scene when she looked him up and down? Why are you looking at your grown man's son's penis? You was a little too comfortable talking to your son while he naked. And you went and killed this little girl because she was pregnant with your son's kid, and you thought she was going to ruin his life. The baby was going to ruin his life that you had so carefully planned for him. Jill did it. And can we talk about Callie? Because it wasn't until like the last 2 or 3 episodes that I thought Callie could have done it. Only because Margot broke off her thing with Callie. See, you could tell it was some sexual tension between Margot and Callie. I peeped that when they was feeding each other. Right? And it also looked like Callie was crazy and very protective of Margot. Because y'all remember them pictures she sent? And it was actually Callie in the book that ended up saving Sophie's ass. Because when Sophie figured out that Jill was the one that killed Margot and Abby, she was about to kill Sophie until Callie ran in with the police and they killed Jill. Callie killed Jill in the movie or whatever, or in a Netflix series, because y'all seen Star there. Star wasn't even a person in the book. That's somebody that they added in. And then let's talk about that black chick. What was her name? Shamia? Baby, I don't know. Shauna? Shantae? Chanel? Baby, you can tell she was just added in, because if you could take her completely out the series, the story would have went right on. The story would have went right on. They added her in for a pop of color. And you know I'm right. And you know I'm right. What else do I want to touch on? Graham, the way they painted you in the Netflix series was the complete opposite of what I read that you were in the book. What I read you were in the book was a doting husband, very loving, very encouraging. Even when you saw your wife, you know, drinking and coming home late, you still encouraged her to have a friendship with these women because you saw how bored and miserable she was living in Texas. You supported her. You was an asshole in Netflix, because I'm like, why would you leave your wife when she needs you the most? You got to pay attention to people who leave you when you at your lowest. I'm accused of murder and you leave me? You making me look even guilty when you should have my back the most. You take my child. Baby, I felt like, nope. Pastor Pete. Pastor Pete. I believe that was, yes. I knew you wasn't shit. I knew you wasn't shit, Pastor Pete. I knew you was a hypocrite, ain't we all? Okay? But for you to be kidnapping them girls, baby. And I don't know if that was something for the Netflix or if that was in the book for real. Because I didn't get that far, because I'm going to really go read the book so I can really, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. They also said that Sheriff Johnny was added in too. Him and Callie wasn't married. They added him on in there. They added him on in there. And listen, I was not surprised when I saw Callie pegging him. I know a lot of women who pegs their men and a lot of men who like it. And I just knew he was gay though. I just thought they was married for optics because he was gay, she was gay, but they made maybe a good, you know, they in the South. They was doing their thing on the side, because you can't tell me that sheriff didn't have a little thing with the deputy. Just how we saw Carol was having a thing with Margot. And ew, Margot, you let your daddy in the show give you an abortion? Ew. That's nasty. Y'all was doing a lot of nasty things there. Ew. And then I'm not sure if you had the real crackhead brother in the book, like how we saw in the series, but baby, everybody got a little crackhead in their family. I know I do. I got a crackhead and a cokehead in my family. Everybody got that. Everybody got it. To see that Margot was first the side chick and then became the main chick, but how he replaced the side chick real quick. Let me tell you something. Y'all know exactly who y'all be marrying. And some women, clearly she said, given what Margot been through, according to the series, maybe she married for status and stability because she had a struggled life. She had a horrible life. So, did y'all enjoy it? Like, what did y'all think of this series? Are y'all going to go read a book? That book. And then I believe it's a part 2. So hopefully the part 2 series on Netflix will be coming out, and it will be even better because I am so ready to see it. Because you remember, they made Margot to be the killer and not Jill. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.